Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra's lair. I'm your host, Larry, and today we're in for another indie gaming first look with Psychiatrist Simulator. It's made by Ithrabaria, it's a $1 title, and the whole idea is that we're simulating a day in the life, or a few days in the life, of a psychiatrist dealing with people, or trying to diagnose different individuals who suffer from a wide range of disorders, possibly illnesses, and the like. So I decided to jump into this a little bit raw and from the hip to see what it's like. So let's just dive right in here. I believe we click on one of these heads. I think we're starting over here. And this is the game, where we're in a psychiatrist's office. We've got the Starry Night Sky picture. Okay. And some of that artist's other work. I'm actually brain farting his name. Van Gogh, I believe it was. Dude that cut his ear off to share it with his girlfriend. Quite the romantic he was. I've got a diploma in clinical psychiatry. I've got a nice taste in music. I will say that the graphics seem a little hodgepodge, but this is a $1 title, so it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And what's this book? So this is my book of major psychiatric disorders, like major depressive disorder, substance use disorder, schizophrenia personality disorder, sexual sadism. Oh, looks like my first patient is here. Let's put this book away. Where's my, oh, there's my door. How do I click on the, oh geez. This guy's right in my face. Hey buddy, how's it going?
I'm Lucas Ithrabari. My mind's a very dark place, and I need some help to get to the bright side.
Okay, so he sounds like he's a little bit depressed, but the trouble with a lot of these symptoms, from what I understand about mental health, is that a lot of these can be intermingled and interchanged, kind of like how flu symptoms are like the baseline for a lot of different problems that you can have with your health, like pneumonia or West Nile virus, stuff like that. So, describe your dark place for me. Like you gotta be careful though, because you don't want to take them too much into their bad place in their mind, but we gotta figure out what exactly it is that is ailing this poor gentleman.
Could you describe the dark place?
I have nightmares every night, and when I wake up, the world looks like my nightmares.
Okay, that sounds like there's a little bit of like hallucination coming out of sleep. Sounds like this guy might also suffer from maybe, what was that called? Sleep paralysis, where you start to fall asleep, but you don't get all the way asleep, and your brain goes into dream mode and you start to see stuff.
Describe your world.
My world's a horror movie. This one scene from my nightmare, I was near this building and it had a megaphone on it, and it said, "Become a zebra or die." And of course there's these zebras around, and when I became one, a guy killed me with a chainsaw.
That is some oddly specific stuff right there. That is definitely something that I would have come up with too, in my brain parts. So do you have dreams like this every night?
Do you have dreams like this every night?
Yeah, I've had thousands of them. I write them in my notebook.
So I will say right off the bat, I mean, this game is a little janky around the edges, but at least the author tried to include some voice acting into the game that sounds pretty decent. I'm not sure, I think one of the things I might like is some voice acting from the Psychiatrist too, and you could use the same voice actor, probably a friend or the author themselves, with some voice modulation in like Audacity or something. That would definitely spice things up. Also, these buttons don't really always work quite right. The hit detection around these boxes could use a little assistance. So, I'm really not sure what to ask people, because some of these questions you're not really supposed to ask people, and it can make them very angry and a little bit violent. Only crazy people have dreams like this. Have you been abused in your life? Tell me about your past. Let's go shit like general purpose. I feel like jumping straight to this might be a little bit much. I'm not actually sure.
Tell me more about your past.
I'm a quiet guy. I keep to myself. So I was bullied pretty heavily at school. And my home life's not great.
Okay, so some abuse from parents might be a thing.
Tell me about your home life.
Well, my parents hate each other, and my mom screams at my father every day.
Oh man, don't be like that. You gotta have a loving household for kids. You can't be like that. Don't be like that to your kids, people. Try not to yell and scream and threaten each other in front of them. That's just gonna mess your brain parts up.
Have you any friends?
I have one good friend, but I only hang out with him once a month.
That's not good.
Do you feel anxious?
Yeah, every day. I feel like everyone's against me, and they want to humiliate me.
So this guy definitely feels like he's got some sort of associative identity disorder, maybe. Something where he just feels really separated from the rest of society because he's been isolated via bullying, which means that he has trouble opening up a lot and making new friends with people. And then the friend that he does have, I think he's afraid to ask to, hang out more than once or twice a month when the other friend is really interested in chilling with him.
Do you spend time with others?
Rarely, maybe once a month. I don't really get enjoyment interacting with other people.
Huh.
Do you feel sad?
Sadness is all that I feel.
Okay. That's all for today. I'll make an appointment for you.
Okay, that's all for today. I will make an appointment for you.
Thanks for your time.
Alright. Major depressive order, also known as depression, is a mental disorder characterized by at least 2 weeks of low mood that is present across most situations. Low self-esteem, loss of interest in normal enjoyable activities, low energy, pain without clear cause. Anxiety is an emotion characterized by unpleasant state of inner turmoil, often accompanied by a nervous state. Well, he does have anxiety. He doesn't have substance abuse. Let's see. False beliefs, unclear, confusing thinking, hearing voices. He didn't hear voices. Schizoidal personality disorder is a mental disorder characterized by social anxiety, thought disorder, paranoid ideation, derealization, transient psychosis, and often, you might have this one. He's not a sadist or a sexual sadist. I think he's got this one. PPD. Paranoid personality disorder. Alright, that's what that guy is. Oh, here's my next, patient. So I will say this is a little on the dry side with these interviews. This can either be kind of depressing feeling to play this game,
My
or...
name is Anna Abrahimovich. My friend told me that you can read human mind. I am curious if you can do that with mine.
Okay, so this is where the voice acting kind of falls apart. I could barely understand this lady. I completely missed her name, but it sounds like she's having some issue, and she believes that psychiatrists are mind readers?
What exactly made you come here?
Sometimes I feel very tense. I don't know what to do with myself. I have to drink vodka to dull myself, Sometimes I cut my arms, too.
Substance abuse and sadism. Maybe masochism? Sexual sadism, probably, because that means that she's deriving some pleasure and some release from cutting herself and also drinking.
Why do you cut yourself?
Sometimes the pain is too much, and I need to do it to relieve it.
Huh. Schizophrenics also tend to do this. I had a friend who was diagnosed with very early childhood schizophrenia who would cut his arms. And I mean, really bad. You also get that with that weird type of dissociative identity disorder where you think you're multiple people, and then you'll, carve your flesh down to the bone and have to be sewn back up. It's pretty messed up. I hope people who are in that state get the help that they need. Is this state dysphoric where you are depressed, have anxiety, agitation, and feel unease? I feel like this is kind of wordy for a doctor to ask, this line right here. But this one's also not very good. A psychiatrist would never just ask, why don't you just feel better, or why don't you just calm down?
Is this state dysphoric where you are depressed, have anxiety and agitation and feel unease?
Yes, exactly. I feel very sad, and the only way to calm down is to drink or hurt myself.
Huh. This lady also makes less eye contact than the other guy. She's either afraid to meet my eyes or thinks that if she does, she'll get an urge to do something to herself.
Do you feel lonely too?
Sometimes too, but not too often. I am a solitary person.
Huh.
Tell me about your past. Any traumas?
I was bullied in school a little because of my anger issues, but nothing serious.
Huh.
Do you drink alone?
Yes, in my room, because I don't like socializing that much.
Okay, so she's not very good at socializing with people, or at least she doesn't like to. So she's kind of diverged herself from what friends she might have. I'm thinking about this game on the whole. So I like the idea of experiencing what it's like to be a psychiatrist and experiencing what it's like to try to diagnose people and find the best way to help them. I would just be very careful with a game like this that you represent in a simulator a more accurate version of this experience. Because a lot of this sounds like stuff like a big no-no that you wouldn't ask somebody in a psychiatrist's office. Which maybe that's the point. Maybe you're supposed to experience what happens when a psychiatrist makes a misstep. And some of this is awfully wordy. One of the things that doctors and emotional psychiatric evaluative personnel will do is they'll try not to make things too wordy. Because if you do have anxiety or you do get confused easily, that'll definitely make things worse and they won't be able to properly diagnose you. Part of this is that you don't want to make someone's moment worse as a professional, like a medical professional. And the other is that if someone starts to shut down internally, then you won't be able to continue talking with them, which is, counterproductive. I also think that this is a little, simultaneously really slow and really rushed. What is my objective here in the game? I've talked to that one guy, but I didn't really even get a chance to, jot down on a clipboard what I thought his issue was to try and get to the bottom of it. And I feel like we kind of need some sort of tutorial or a little blurb of information somewhere, maybe on that same clipboard I was just talking about, that really tells us, what is our day, what is our objective, what is our schedule going to look like, how is this game going to, shape itself? Am I just talking to people over the course of a few interviews, or what's the deal? So, I mean, it's an okay-ish game, I guess, if you're into this. I don't see much appeal in it. The graphics are kind of all over the place and janky. The gameplay is a bit on the dry side if you're not really into psychiatry or medical evaluative stuff, so I might give this a pass. But it's only $1.99. So this has been a brief look at Psychiatrist Simulator made by Ethrabaria. It's $1. Check it out for yourselves. I've been your host, Larry. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody, and have a good one.